It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
All right, everybody. It's your boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. It's another episode of the Shoe Shine. Joining me, as always, my East Coast counterpart, Mr. Philly Drew Evo. ¿Qué pasa, homie?
What's up?
Glad to have you on a Monday night while the rest of America's men and maybe some of their wives are watching Monday Night Football. Die-hard boxing fans, sweet science fans are hopefully joining us live tonight. Shout out to everybody who's already participating in the chat. Hello to Run PMC, A-Rod83, Boxeo. John Reyes is in the room. Oh, shoot. Chicano Prophet, Nopal, salud. Chicano Prophet, saludos. Oh, man. Mexican Independence Day came and went, Drew. And for 3 years in a row, we have not had a major event. This used to be the date that Oscar De La Hoya would sell all his pay-per-view. The greatest numbers in pay-per-view of Mexican-American boxers were on Mexican Independence Day. And it came and went with very little boxing. In fact, people had told me there was no boxing, and come to find out there was some boxing. PBC put on some pretty decent fights in Bakersfield, California, both Saturday and Sunday. Holler at me, Drew. What's on your mind?
What about that Montgomery fight, that prospect Mayhem Montgomery?
Oh, yeah. And we're going to get to those. But something happened on Sunday that we completely forgot to banter on, completely forgot to even bring up, Drew. And that's the fact that my beloved 49ers, shout out to the Niner Nation, and the Eagles had a game in Philadelphia, Drew. Now, you told me before the game that your team was the underdog. You have a new quarterback. But the Niners almost gave this game away like they did the following week when all eyes are on them scoring 41 points. An offensive powerhouse like the Niners has some trouble with the Eagles, man. What's going on with that? What happened with your defense there?
We beat ourselves. We're a young team, some bad play calling and everything. But to be honest, we got a top 5 defense that keeps us in games, and I'm happy about it. We left 17 points on the board. This game should have been won. I'm sorry, Dave. I don't think the Niners are that good. I think they're the third best team in the NFC West.
Yo, and I got to call you on that, and we're going to get to some boxing, guys. Hold on with me, because now you said you didn't think my team was that good, all right? And what is this I see earlier today on Twitter? Philly Irish Drew Evo on Twitch says, Niners are good, but not on top of the NFC. Good, they're going to get finished third in the NFC West. I think the Rams are that much better, and them Seahawks are always in the hunt. I'll agree with that. Hell, if the Cards keep playing well, the Niners might be the last in the West. Shots fired at my team. Whoa.
Well, you gotta realize when you gave up 16 points in 2 minutes of the first game of the year, and then we had bad calls during the game. That game with our game when they missed a delay of game penalty and missed a couple hold calls on the offensive line. Other than that, we beat ourselves in that game, in my opinion. I told this one dude on Twitter that's a streamer, that's a big Niners fan, I had to call this dude out, because even if the Niners are a 4-win team headed into the season, he thinks they're a freaking Super Bowl contender.
Nah, we're not going to make the Shoe Shine Monday Night Football a recap, but I'm glad we're discussing this, because on the Shoe Shine, before we came on YouTube, we used to do a lot of wagers, and I got the phone lines lighting up with some people who are prepared to make some money line wagers on these games. But Drew, it is Hispanic Heritage Month, right? And something happened in the neighborhood that I grew up in this weekend that brings me a lot of memories, a lot of pride and joyful memories growing up in San Francisco's Mission District. And I want to give a shout out to the San Francisco Lowrider Council. Okay, now, talking 49ers, how old am I? Listen, I grew up on a street right behind San Francisco's famous Mission Street, the Mission District. The Mission Street, it starts all the way at the waterfront and it goes all the way to the next town. If you're not familiar with it, Daly City, California. And right in the middle, you got the Mission District, which is the old school barrio. And 40 years ago, they started the San Francisco Lowrider Council. And up until that time, man, you used to get arrested for even thinking about cruising, right? And they had a parade on Saturday. So the city's come full circle, and the mayor put on this parade honoring the San Francisco Lowrider Council. Drew, when the 49ers first won their Super Bowl in 1985, I literally lived on the street right behind the Mission District, and the entire night was a lowrider, basically a lowrider event, man. I mean, the celebration from the Niners winning the 1985 Super Bowl is embedded as a little kindergarten kid that I saw that parade go on until the wee hours of the night, and it was only, as you know, one of 3 in the 80s. I may have got that wrong, but it was only the beginning of a dynasty team, man. And so shout out to the San Francisco Lowrider Council, the beautiful cars they put out there. I'm only sorry I missed it, and I'm glad that this is on YouTube. Lowriding is still something that's very dear and near to Chicano culture. Shout out to everybody. Joe Lopez, yes, San Fran Mission. That's where I grew up, man. I grew up in that little barrio. I now make my home in San Jose, but of course, I'm very proud of all the people who keep lowriding culture going. It's an integral part of our culture here as Mexican Americans, of course, and boxing. I mean, what's a Mexican gonna do without boxing and lowriders, Drew?
I don't know.
By the way, Caleb Plant has a 6'4" Impala. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that makes him an honorary Chicano. Probably not. Let me know what you think in the chat. Does that make it Caleb Plant down for La Raza? And by the way, let me make that announcement right now to the chat, guys. Dave from the 408 and the Shoe Shine will be out. Will be out in effect on November 6th at the Canelo versus Plant fight. I've booked my vacation with my wife. So if you're interested in hooking up with me and maybe doing a pre-game show in Las Vegas on a live stream, I'm going to bring out my good camera gear, my good microphones. We can do a live stream live from Las Vegas. So hit me up at the Mike and Dave 1 on Twitter if you will be at the Canelo fight. And Drew, 2 fights in a month is way expensive, so I actually have not bought tickets to the Canelo Alvarez fight yet. All right, but I will be buying tickets to the Spence Crawford fight because I hear tickets are going to be as low as $50 to see that welterweight showdown November 20th, just 2 weeks later. I will be going to that, man, but I can't fade on them Canelo tickets being $400 from nosebleeds, and I'm almost certain that those are sold out. We got someone on the phone who wants to talk some crap, I believe. Let's take this call real quick. The Shoe Shine will get on with the boxing of the weekend, but let me take this call because they got something to say here. 951.
Yo, hey.
All right.
This is Johnny Shitcock and Speech Impediment Man.
Calm your horses. All right. What if Johnny Savage from
Johnny Shitcock?
Johnny Shitcock is your new name?
Johnny Shoecock?
Yeah, his name is. It's not even original, Johnny. All right, man, my callers don't know much about you, but let me just introduce my callers to you. When we sing mariachi, I usually have you on as my backup vocals. Right.
Come flow.
Yeah, Johnny, hold on, Johnny. You gotta speech and hold on. You gotta work with my when I podcast now. Normal. You gotta wait for me to take a break. Now I'm still introducing Johnny Savage. If you don't know about him, he thinks he has a sex advice show. That's only one thing aside from doing the mariachi. And you're the only Chicano I know who is a proud fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why on earth is this guy a Jaguars fan? Somebody explain to me why any Mexican American would be a fan of the Jaguars in Florida. Go ahead.
Let me introduce this dude real quick. Let me do my introduction of him. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 55-year-old sex addict that loves the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars, Johnny, where the fuck his name, Sheetcock Savage.
All right, Johnny, are you prepared to make a bet with Drew Evo on who ends the season with a better record, the Jaguars or the Philadelphia Eagles? Now, I know the Jaguars have the youngest rookie quarterback, and he's done absolutely horrendous for a rookie. A lot of pressure on that rookie quarterback. How are you feeling about your rookie draft pick?
I wanted to take myself out because this guy is horrible. I thought he was baby Jesus for the Jaguars. I thought he was a baby Jesus. I thought he was baby Jesus with recognition to society, but he let us down. But you know what? Hey, Dave, I know the Jaguars playing the 49ers. I'll bet you, bro, $100.
There it is. I'll take that bet. I will take that bet. $100 from Johnny Savage, 49ers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Let me know the date. I'll be ready to collect on that. And now I know I got speech impediment, man, from Compound Media and also the Howard Stern Show of a famous whack packer. Speech, I believe Drew still owes you some kind of bet, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. And I want to settle this thing, and it would help your podcast. I want to challenge this shithead to a boxing match. I want to get his ass in the ring. He is popping off and giving football advice. He has no room to give anyone any advice. He has owed me $50 for 2 frickin' years. What an asshole.
Yo, Speech, I thought we were cool, number one. And number two, aren't your Vikings 0-2?
Yeah.
What
guys.
That matter? What's my $50, you cocksucker?
All right. There, if you do remember our conversation, you owe me 10, so he only owes you 40. So yeah, he does owe you 40, and Johnny's gonna owe me 100 in just a matter of a few weeks, and I will be there to collect on both of those bets as soon as I see you guys. So what's the latest, guys? Give us a quick update because the fans want to hear about this boxing.
He's gonna get his $40 when I get paid next time, and he's gonna owe me an apology for calling me a cocksucker.
Hey, Steve, how about the midgets? How about your midgets? Midgets.
Listen,
yeah, Dave. I
want to hear the story.
Went to the Viking.
Yeah.
I went to the Viking Cardinal game.
Yeah.
And I met a pair of sisters. They were midgets. They were twins. And I told them I have speech impediment, man.
Right.
And they took me in the bathroom and we had sex. The little one was sucking my cock.
Hey, come on. Wait a minute. Language.
No,
I'm going to get a flag for your language. Just give us the R-rated version.
Oh my fucking God. I don't want to hear
the other one climbed on top of the toilet and I was eating her out.
My God. Now I don't know if that counts for a full-size woman. If the two half-size women count for a full-size.
Well, yeah, don't 2 midgets equal a full-sized woman?
Yeah, I guess
I think so.
Sounds to me like you had no threesome. Yeah. Now that was quite unbelievable and shocking, and I appreciate you guys for calling in.
Hey, wait, Dave. Beast he has a tripod. I mean, but I get to him. Hey, bro, you know what? When me and Steve are talking about doing a dual comedy show, Speech and Hook It Up. We're gonna do a dual comedy show, tag team comedy show. You can hook it up and come check us out. It'll be funny, hilarious. And
it'll be at the Comedy Chateau in North Hollywood.
Well, I'm enthralled to hear that news. Make sure you keep me up to date on all the comedy news. And definitely let me know as soon as you get that. It's official. Johnny and I have a bet. Johnny, people are waiting to hear our next mariachi number. It's National Hispanic Month, so get ready. Keep flossing out those vocals, and I'll talk to you guys later, man. Thanks for calling the Shoe Shine, guys.
Hey, wait. One more thing.
Yeah, what is it?
Hey, Drew, your Eagles are not that good, bro. Your Eagles are not good, bro. They're not good.
I'm gonna get fucking sick.
You're not good, bro.
I'm gonna fuck up. Yo, Johnny, shut the fuck up. Because at the end of the fucking day, man, you're a fucking Jacksonville Jaguars fan. You guys haven't won shit in forever.
Listen.
And seriously, you're saying your quarterback sucks, but he's not as bad as Zach fucking Wilson. First of all. Second of all, why the fuck are you a Jacksonville Jaguars fan? You live in fucking LA.
Let's get to some breaking news. Let's move on with the show, guys. Thank you guys
I can't take this. I'm about to flow the fuck up.
Thank you guys for hanging with my boy's speech there and letting Johnny Savage, the Latin lover, get on the air here. But there's some breaking news before we get to our Usyk prediction of the night. Usyk versus Joshua, a real heavyweight fight that we should all be excited about because it's been a lousy summer of boxing. But Ryan Kavanagh of Trilla says they are exploring moving the fight that's been postponed, canceled, reworked so many times, moving the Teofimo Lopez fight once again from Monday night, which would be on the night of the shoe shine. And Drew, I was ready to buy the fight legally and comment and do a little live commentary. But it looks like they want to move it to a Saturday, the weekend after the Wilder Fury pay-per-view special. So, good thing, bad thing, what the hell is going on? Is it going to make a difference? Now, I know that last Monday, the Raiders game was the highest rated game for the NFL in over 3 years. Guys are watching football again. There's probably a handful of people willing to watch the shoe shine right now. And thank you for being part of that because Monday Night Football is back and it's doing great numbers, Drew. So do you think that had anything to do with Trilla changing their mind once again?
Oh, man. Like, I'll be honest, I call it this year. You damn right you kind of call it this. Trilla, man, says terrible business as usual. And tell you, let's review this timeline of this fight, first of all, when this fight first got made. So this fight got made. They won a post bid, they're giving Teofimo, what is it like, freaking $4 million, and Kambosos makes close to $2 million. Both guys' biggest paydays in boxing. I thought they paid way too much for the fight because nobody knows Kambosos in the United States, and Teofimo is not yet a star. And they fucking postponed the fight because Teofimo supposedly had COVID, but there was evidence that they didn't even sell out half the stadium in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium. So that was a little bit of a suspicious cancellation right there.
Yeah.
And then after that, they go to try to reschedule the fight in August. And this is when, and then after that, they decide, oh, we're going to reschedule the fight again.
Yeah, you make a great
September.
point. I can't keep up with how many times it's been rescheduled.
But here's the other thing. The night of the Lomachenko fight, when he fought Nakatani, Teofimo supposedly was, I think, a day or was just getting off the 2 weeks of quarantine from COVID, and his dad was saying he's in Italy for vacation. So that's kind of more suspicious. Why is he on vacation right away? And especially going to overseas when you already had COVID. Tell you the truth, I don't think they let you go overseas when just getting off COVID right away.
Well, I do have some news about that, Drew. I want to bring something up very important to fighters like Tyson Fury. Today's news, people from overseas in Europe will be allowed to come in starting in November. It's not going to affect his fight in October, but we can expect the British and other people from other countries like Canada to start making their way to the fight capital, Las Vegas, because they're going to allow you back in with no drama if you're fully vaccinated. And I think that's a great thing because we know that Tyson Fury brings a huge crowd. We know people like Conor McGregor can bring a huge international crowd when he fights. Of course, right now he's rehabbing, but that's a good thing. Now, Drew, we're talking about them rescheduling this fight so many times. This is what pisses me off for the fighters, for both of these guys. These guys have extended their training camp so many times, and we know that making weight is an integral part of defending your title. They're playing with these guys. I mean, it's not fair to the fighters, especially Kambosos, who lives in Australia. You mentioned COVID quarantining numerous times. He's got a baby. Teofimo has a baby on the way. Quit playing with these guys. If you knew that the fight would sell best in Teofimo's background, Brooklyn's MSG, which is a great, now they want to do it at the Barclay, or I'm confused, Barclay's October 16th. These are natural places where Teofimo is going to sell tickets and sell them well. Why did you go all the way full circle starting in the state of Florida, and then you were thinking about Vegas, then you brought up let's have the fight in Australia so we could really, and now guess what? You're back in Teofimo's natural background, his territory where he's naturally going to sell seats well. And now you want to move it the Saturday after a major pay-per-view. Are fight fans going to have pay-per-view fatigue? Because this fight on paper isn't competitive. And I know Kambosos is going to bring his best performance, but still, it's not like boxing fans have unlimited potential and capital to spend on pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view. Don't forget, people are going to shell out for the pay-per-view November 6th for Canelo, which has been announced on Showtime. There's only so much you can squeeze out of the sweet science fans monetarily, right? I mean, shit. Give us a break with these pay-per-views. Also, Drew, Peter Khan is one of the most... Peter Khan, we talked about Andy Vences last week. Peter Khan had an integral role at Trilla. They brought in one of the most respected managers in boxing. He even represents Sanders Zayas. This guy is embedded in the boxing culture. He said goodbye. He put in his resignation letter. I don't know if it had anything to do with, Andy Vences and the fighter he fought from Ireland last week. We talked about that. That was the only legitimate sanctioned fight on the card on the last Trilla thing. Turns out most of them were exhibitions. And this is important we note what's going on in Florida with exhibitions, okay? Because I'm going to bring up something else with the state of Florida, with exhibitions, with people being really pissed off at aging fighters in the ring, Drew. All right, let's segue into this because I'm trying to get the promoter for Celebrity Boxing, who I know for some time, Damon Fellman, on our show. All right. Damon Fellman's a guy I know from, we heard speech on the phone. I actually know him from the Howard Stern show because I used to book one of the Whack Pack guys, High Pitch Eric. We used to book him for appearances. And this is kind of a big deal. This is not the one advertisement. I apologize about that. That ain't it either. There we go. People are pissed off about this too, and they got a right to be probably because it looks like on paper, we're going to see another beatdown like the one Holyfield was getting in the state of Florida. And I've been tracking the social media response, and he had to put out a statement today reiterating what I already know from my conversations. His promotional boxing company aspires to be the WWE of boxing. And we know that the WWE is choreographed. So let's get that in our thick heads when he's telling you it's the WWE of boxing entertainment. So is the Florida Athletic Commission going to sanction Riddick Bowe, who is in awful condition, to be taking real punishment? No. It's probably not even going in front of a commission at all. All right. Can he get hurt boxing? Yeah, he could. I mean, Lamar Odom can catch him with something and he might get dropped. I don't know. But the truth of it is that they are going to be taking as many precautions to not actually put any real punishment. Again, it would have to be sanctioned. And like I said, the fights that just were put on Trilla, those weren't sanctioned. Turns out those things were exhibitions. As an exhibition, we can't even legally bet on this. No sports book should be taking a wager on this. I know people are concerned. I know that a Mexican girl just died from a real boxing match. But when you see Paulie Malignaggi, who hasn't been in the ring in years, against Corey B., a radio DJ from the East Coast, a radio DJ who threw a pie in his face, I gotta tell you guys, this thing is most likely completely staged. I don't think Paulie would take a pie from any radio DJ and not kick his ass. Again, I hope to talk to him on the phone, man. It'd be great. I know a lot of people have certain feelings about Paulie, but Paulie is a great interview. And exactly, Joe Lopez, who the hell is Corey B? And you're probably asking me, who the hell are my friends from the Stern Show? Well, do you guys remember ever hearing about the guy that went viral, Bagel Boss? The Bagel Boss, the guy who made the huge scene as a male because no women would date him and he went viral? He was paid as the main event in one of these celebrity boxing events. He actually didn't show up and he ended up getting sued. He was supposed to fight, oh God, I can't even remember who he fought, but in his place, Screech fought. Screech, the guy from Saved by the Bell, who ended up dying sadly of cancer later. It was a shit show. And my friend Eric was paid to go out to New Atlantic City, and they advertised this boxing match on the Howard Stern show. And again, it really is like WWE boxing. the likelihood of you getting seriously injured is very, very low. John Reyes in the room. Thank you for coming on and calling us. Go Jaguars. Hard to support that. Run PMC says, Polly going to take another L. Man, that would be sad because that bare knuckle fight that they do sanction as a legal fight, I was surprised when Artemov effed them up, man. If that doesn't tell you it's time to hang them up. Drew?
First of all,
yeah,
that Teofimo's fight's only doing 50,000 pay-per-view buys.
On a Monday night or your prediction on a Saturday night?
Prediction on a Saturday night.
Oh, people are going to accuse you of hating again.
Who cares? And number two, Johnny, you say go Jaguars and call yourself shitcock one more time. I'm taking your fucking wrench.
And this one goes to Joe Lopez, who asked me, Shoe Shine, are you friends with Beetlejuice from the Howard Stern Show? I only have pictures with Beetlejuice. I would love to be friends with him. The fact of the matter is that he is managed by one of the Rooneys, a very famous boxing family, and you're not allowed to get anywhere near Beetlejuice. They handle all his social media, and they do a great job on that, keeping him relevant out there. And by the way, speaking of midget boxing, I didn't pull up the clip, Drew. We're talking about circus. I saw a really good midget boxing match on YouTube. I mean, it was great. There's a really good one out there. Look it up. It was inside a cage match, but it was really good. It was really good midget boxing. Little people boxing. Excuse me. Don't call me out on that. Little people boxing. It's on YouTube. It's recent. And let me tell you, there was a lot of head movement. There was a lot of feints. There was a lot of showboating. I have to say, little people boxing is really stepped up its game.
Dave, can we stop talking about little people?
Let's stop talking about little people.
You're reminding me of that shit or you're not talking about little people no more.
Let's stop already about that.
Slow the fuck up.
PBC put on a great fight this weekend. Listen, you guys may have heard of Jose Valenzuela. He is a prospect who's 10-0 from Sinaloa. He is an offensive punching machine. There is David Benavidez' father. He's training out of the Seattle, Washington area, and he is a highly touted prospect. Soon in my visual test, this kid is going to be a force to be reckoned with. He, of course, headlined the card on Saturday night. He's just an offensive punching machine, man. And if anyone's going to compare him, if somebody told me, he's like Jaime Munguia, who's, again, this kid is at 135 pounds, the hottest division in boxing, Drew. Wake up! Hottest division in boxing, 135. He doesn't need that much defense because he doesn't stop throwing punches. Do you guys agree with me there? Let me know your thoughts on Jose Valenzuela, who's 10-0. But I posted that I think that Rolly Romero should be keeping an eye on him because it wouldn't surprise me if him and Rolly Romero are on a collision course at PBC. Rolly Romero thinks he's ready for Gervonta Davis. He thinks he's going to be getting that matchup sometime at the end of the year. Honestly, in just a few fights, maybe in another year, I can see Jose Valenzuela a real contender at the lightweight division. That's just my thoughts. I'd love to know your opinion. I put it up on Twitter. There was a lot of feedback. Another thing about PBC, Drew, and this, I don't know if this bothers you, bro, but there was a lot of rabbit punching on that Saturday card. And if anything's going to put you in a coma or seriously injure you, this fight, Chance versus De Jesus, he was rightfully penalized for a severe, let me rewind that. What'd you think of that, man? That was nasty, dude. A shot right behind the neck, man. And there was two of these on Saturday night.
You know what's bad about it? People like say he should have been warned, but the thing is, the dude was on the ground and he nailed him in the back of his head.
Yeah.
So what's the point of that? You should have. He did the right thing, taking a point off of him. You don't hit the dude while he's down, number one, and you don't hit him in the back of the head.
You know, the fight.
Look attention.
The fight we just saw the other day between the Valdez that we saw for a title shot, right? There was a point taken away without any warning in that fight, and that ultimately, in my opinion, Well, the scorecards were pretty wide, 117, 110, and that judge, they ordered a review on that. But really, there was no warning on that one. And honestly, if anything deserved a warning was in that recent fight, the Valdez fight. So we've covered that. That PBC card on Saturday was good, but even better on Sunday night. Man, I don't know if you got a chance to watch this fight, man, but Jumakanov versus Montgomery on Saturday night. Some people are calling this, I'm going to mute that. Sorry. But some people are calling this fight on Sunday night. And of course, because of football, a lot of people didn't catch this. But let me just get the stats on this, man. This featherweight fight, 1,837 total combined punches. If you're talking about a fight where there's people get bored of inactivity, of low offensive output, man, this was not the fight. These guys went toe-to-toe. And even though Alim came up short, it was extremely competitive. In fact, the only time anyone was seriously hurt was Montgomery in round 9. He wasn't dropped. This could end up in a very lame year of boxing so far. I know there's some great fights coming up ahead. This could be a real fight of the year contender. So if you didn't watch this fight, I definitely think you should go and revisit this fight on YouTube or however you can catch this replay of Jumakanov versus Montgomery. Two guys that I think are going to be really solid opponents to anyone, if not contenders, as featherweight in the featherweight division, Drew. Did you catch that fight? A little bit of that, the highlights?
Yeah, I did. And Montgomery landed almost 140 more punches at him, too.
He did. Montgomery, his stats that he was reaching, I mean, he was like double the punches. But Alim, in his defense, when he was landing, they were hard and clean. So here we had a case where one guy was landing much, much more volume, but the other guy was landing some clean, hard shots that apparently looked like they were causing some damage on the fighters. I really want to watch this fight again because we may have to revisit it. This could be a contender for fight of the year. We just don't know. I mean, again, nobody was really watching it. I do understand that PBC did fairly well when they played that fight that we recently covered that fighter. Jesus Ramos, they apparently did very well. But on a Sunday night when most people were concerned about their football team, I don't know, man. I don't know. Chicano Prophet says, and this is a good one. He says, I heard a rumor that Drew is picking Usyk. It wouldn't surprise me. Remind me, guys. Let me remind you that the phone lines are open 702-710-3627 because a real badass heavyweight fight. I can't even believe it's happening this quick, Drew, because lately we're just used to shit not happening, man. This fight happened really quick. I feel like it was yesterday that you and I were talking about Usyk moving up to the heavyweight division. And here he is not having to worry about trying to make a fight with Wilder or Tyson Fury, but he's getting AJ, Drew. And already the chat seems to think that you are picking Usyk. So I see you fiddling on the phone. I'm going to ask our audience, is Usyk, Alexander Usyk from the Ukraine, is he the next Klitschko? Is he the next great Ukrainian champion, undisputed cruiserweight? Even better, is he the next Evander Holyfield? Please tell me, Drew, is this undisputed cruiserweight champion who did it in less fights than anybody, even Raleigh Romero told YouTube today that Usyk is going to win, is he going to pull off a major upset?
Yes. And Chicano, don't ever spoil the show again.
Chicano Prophet, with a fairly good estimate that Usyk is going to play spoiler. And I've had to think about this for a while now, Drew, because when I saw the fight with him and Chisora, I thought there's no way that Usyk is going to be able to upset Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury, maybe Wilder, because Wilder's boxing is so rudimentary and Usyk is on another level. As a boxer, they're both former gold Olympians. All right, we have that. Is he really too small, Drew? 6'4"? I used to think he was too small.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you why I'm picking Usyk to beat Joshua. If anybody is paying attention to the headlines and not just looking at Joshua, oh, he's too big and everything. Do you realize Joshua is trying to trim up and go down to at least 230 to be able to keep up with Usyk, to be able to try to keep up with his movement and conditioning?
I haven't heard that. I haven't even seen any where Anthony Joshua is in his physical conditioning. I do have plenty of videos of Usyk having a great time. I mean, he very creative on the dance floor. And this is important. I mean, I'm not making fun of the fact that Usyk likes to dance, but this is very important because Usyk brings something to the table that no other heavyweight has currently in the division. And that's the footwork of a much more agile and smaller boxer. Something that Anthony Joshua, I have to admit, if anything's always bothered me about Anthony Joshua is that he's so basic.
He overtrained for this fight. Joshua is going to overtrain for this fight. And that's one big reason Usyk is going to win this fight. And number two, Joshua has never really been done that well against little men, if you look at it.
For example?
Andy Ruiz knocked him out. Second fight, he practically ran away the whole last couple rounds to avoid getting knocked out by Andy Ruiz because he was scared to get knocked out by him. And if everybody they say, oh, Anthony's this much good of a boxer, but can we just go back to his last three opponents, which was Pulev and Andy Ruiz twice. Andy Ruiz was a out-of-shape fat guy, and he got knocked out by him one fight. And Pulev is a one-handed fighter that has two punches, a right jab and a right hook, and he has no defense. Pulev hasn't really beaten anybody, and he was knocked out by Vladimir Klitschko. So Anthony Joshua, if you're going to compare him to somebody, you got to compare him to Vladimir Klitschko. He has the body type of Klitschko. He has that form of Klitschko. The only thing that he's not better than Klitschko as a boxer, he's not known for throwing a jab. He's known for trying to get in there and knock you out. And that's what he has to do. That's the only chance he has to beat Usyk, is to do what got you there, what got you those titles, was go there and go for the knockout. If you're trying to outbox Usyk, you're not going to outbox him. You're going to head to a 12-round decision. Maybe if you overtrain for the fight, you might get stopped late.
Might get stopped late. That is indeed bold. And bold here is Chicano Prophet, who says, here's another spoiler. Drew is going to get this one wrong, and he's happy to bet a pie to the face. I don't know. It might be too late for a pie bet. I mean, we did one of those earlier, and of course, that's completely up to Drew. But I think that, Chicano, you owe us a phone call if that's some kind of wager you want to make. I just had a wager from Johnny Savage, the Latin lover, that I accepted for $100. Jaguars versus the 49ers. A pie bet is pretty major. I think
somebody already beat Chicano to a bet in me, so he ain't getting a bet.
Well, I don't know anything about that. You ought to share that with the shoe shine. But Drew, if Joshua really is melting down at 230, I think that's a horrible mistake because he might be over, like you say, robbing himself of crucial power that he's going to need in the later rounds. Because I think, in my opinion, Usyk struggled a little bit against Chisora late, if I'm not correct.
I'm going to have to disagree. He struggled early against Chisora, not late. He almost stopped Chisora late because, that's the thing. Chisora's in Anthony Joshua's camp, and he's trying to say Usyk has no power, but the dude almost stopped you, dude. And you're known for gassing out. So that dude's opinion is irrelevant because he almost got stopped by Usyk.
Peter Fury, who is widely respected in the UK, Peter Fury thinks that was the best version of Chisora the UK boxing community has ever seen. And Usyk was able to pass him. So I got to ask everyone in the chat, who's got the better ring IQ? Is it Usyk or is it Anthony Joshua? And I'm going to have to say that I thought about that one, and I have to say it's clearly Usyk who's got the better ring IQ. If Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the late rounds, we're going to a decision. All right? Both of these guys have to execute the perfect game plan on Saturday night. They have to execute the perfect game plan. And that means Usyk, to get the decision, Drew, has only got to win 7 rounds out of 12 in the judge's decision. In the judge's eyes.
Like this, Dave. If Anthony Joshua comes in weighing under 240, Usyk might get a late stoppage.
I don't think it's wise. I have not seen anything, and I'm going to be keeping my eye on this. I might be on the roundtable on HCP this week, and so I'm going to really have to cement my opinion as I watch what's going on in the final days of each other's camps. But I think that's ill advice, because every time we've seen fighters melt down, including Wilder, it has not benefited them. Okay, it hasn't even benefited Andy Ruiz, who you just mentioned. And that is a key factor in the decision that I've made. And I generally don't side with Drew Evo on major fights, and I haven't told him yet. But because of what Andy Ruiz was able to pull off, because he was able to get in the mind of Anthony Joshua and make Anthony Joshua basically quit in his own mind. That's what Andy Ruiz did. Anthony Joshua folded and said, I don't know why, I'm not on my best game. This guy's going to knock me out. And he allowed it to happen. Once you taste defeat, it is so much easier to give up again. Anyone who's ever done a sport that's not a team sport, like I wrestled in high school, anytime you let that thought get in your mind that I'm not going to beat this other guy, or that tonight is an off night for me, that's all it takes. And I think that Usyk, with his boxing IQ, might be able to pull off a decision. And that's as far as I'm willing to go, is that we might see an upset with an Usyk decision on Saturday night. That's Dave from the 408's take. Usyk, 7 rounds to 5. In a very exciting fashion.
Like, if you look at Usyk's resume, mostly all his fights are in the opponent's backyard.
Yes, I did look into that. His record fighting big-name opponents at the cruiserweight division were all in enemy territory, and he seems to relish and perform at the next level that is required. And I did look at that, man. I take that into consideration the same way I take into consideration that Anthony Joshua has a loss on his record, man, by a much smaller guy, Andy Ruiz, who's quick. Andy Ruiz is very deceptively quick, stocky, and has power behind his punches. I don't think Usyk hits as hard as Andy Ruiz, but again, if you compare the two guys, like you said, Andy Ruiz is barely 6'4". Some say he's not even 6'2". Some say he's really not. If you see Andy Ruiz next to Canelo Alvarez, you're like, whoa, dude, how is this guy a heavyweight as far as height? And he managed to do the unthinkable and become the first Mexican-American heavyweight champion of the world. Right?
Right. And the thing is, Usyk, he has combinations, and it's only going to take one good counterpunch if it lands the right way to hurt Joshua.
I will say that Anthony Joshua has been displaying excellent combination work as of late. After the fight with Andy Ruiz, he went back to the drawing board. Word is he went to a specific sports psychologist to get his head right. Something I think a lot of fighters should take advantage of is visiting a sports psychologist after a defeat like that. It seemed to get his head in the right space. This is a fight that, I mean, it's going to have so many ramifications in the heavyweight division. If Usyk pulls this off, we're going to be talking about him facing the winner at some point of Wilder versus Tyson Fury, right?
I don't think Wilder's going to fight the winner of Josh. I don't think Wilder will fight for Undisputed. I really think if Wilder, by some miracle, beats Fury, he's going to go back to fighting lower B-level, C-level competition.
Interesting enough, by the way, Tyson Fury just arrived in Las Vegas for the final weeks of the training camp for October 9th. October 9th looks like it's going to be a great card, a mixture of PBC fighters and top-ranked fighters. Edgar Berlanga, 168-pound prospect of the year contender, He's going to be on that card. There's going to be Frank Sanchez. It's going to be that card is actually going to be really, really well worth the pay-per-view price, whatever they're going to be charging. October 9th. By the way, Chicano Prophet, ain't no way in hell Usyk is knocking out Joshua. I do agree with that, Drew. I do agree with that. But I also have come to grips that I think he's going to squeeze an upset decision on Saturday night. There's too many things working against Joshua in his past. If he comes in at the right weight, executes a perfect plan, it might actually go the other way. It might actually be Joshua. In a perfect world, Joshua is going to knock out the smaller fighter. We do have a phone call. We're talking Usyk versus Joshua Saturday night. Let's take this call. 909, you are on the Shoe Shine.
Hey, this is Mike Tyson, and I like your show. I just want to tell you that the Eagles suck. You know, the Eagles suck. And
I didn't know you
Hey,
followed that.
Dave, can you hang up on him?
Mr. Tyson, can you tell us who wins the fight Saturday night at least?
I think, what you call it? You're saying Tyson Fury?
Yeah, okay. Thank you for the call, Mike. Mike Tyson, everybody. He thinks Tyson Fury will win. Fury Tyson will win Saturday. Furry Tyson, I believe is what he said.
Go play with some pigeons.
Oh, man, Johnny is on a rare form. Hey, A-Rod 83 Boxil, Al Chile. The cast of Al Chile seem to be in agreement, but I haven't got a phone call. I'd love to know. Give me a call, guys. Why you guys think that he is going to be victorious this weekend? Please, I'd like to know. By the way, Al Chile tomorrow at 11 a.m. I heard they're going to be doing some fight scoring, and I love when they do that. So shout out to everyone at Al Chile tomorrow at 11 a.m. on YouTube. I guess, Drew, it seems like we may be the underdogs. I'm curious what Amilcar Caribe from Mano a Mano, I think his broadcast earlier said, but upset. So I do think they were asking you if you could be on the round table this week. Maybe they want to know exactly why you're picking Usyk. Thank you, Chicano, for answering that. I think we're both, for once, on the same page that we think Usyk is going to pull off an upset. And if it was Tyson Fury, I'd probably be saying a different. My prediction would be entirely different, Drew.
I'm going to be honest with you. A Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk fight will be born. I'm sorry to say that, but I think it will because of styles. I don't think the styles will mix well. I think it'll be like a real calculated fight. And I will think because of Fury's boxing and height, I think Fury will win the fight. But I think it's going to be a too boring of a fight because it's going to be a chess match, the whole fight.
Yeah, it would definitely be a chess match. But you know who did do, who had surprisingly put on a very good fight was Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin will be back in the ring, I read, in the future, very, very near. Otto Wallin put up a surprisingly good fight for being a smaller.
I predict that fight now.
And I forget who Otto Wallin is fighting, but it's somebody.
Dillian White.
Dillian White. There you go. A very good fight.
That fight. I'm going to put my pick right now.
Please do.
I'm telling you this right now. I think Otto Wallin's going to knock Dillian White out.
And I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I knew I saw that, and I knew it was going to be important. But Otto Wallin has got a really good UK fight coming up. I think that's going to be on the DAZN schedule, if I'm not correct. But he put up a surprisingly good fight. Yes, styles make fights. Tyson Fury is an excellent boxer, and that's why he did so well in that rematch. I mean, he went back to the game plan and executed a perfect game plan in that second fight against Wilder, and that fight is right around the corner. We got this fight. We got October the 9th, a stacked card. Here's the one I just wanted to bring up, Drew, before we get off the air, and I want to get off the air because I know it's been a long night and a lot of people were tired, guys. But the return of Mikey Garcia on DAZN, Drew, did you hear about this one?
Yeah, not too excited.
A lot of reason to not be excited. A lot of reason for people in Fresno, California, Bakersfield, the surrounding Central Coast Valley to be excited because, to be honest, Fresno, California, Rick Meridiagan, the manager for Jose, the former champ. Oh, we do have a call. Let's take this call. Let's see if it's a good call. I'm about to wrap up the show, but let's see. It just might be our number one troll, Johnny Savage, again. Let's see. 559, you're on the Shoe Shine.
What's up? This is A-Rod.
Thank you,
A-Rod.
God. Somebody freaking normal.
Drew's happy to hear your voice. Yeah, we were going to wrap up the show, but listen, this is a big fight, and I know Alchile's going to go on the air tomorrow, and I'd love to hear your thoughts because Usyk versus Joshua is a serious fight, a lot on the stake for the heavyweight division. Your thoughts on this weekend's fight?
Usyk, he's pretty good boxer. I mean, AJ's going to have to display his new footwork that he picked up after he got knocked out by Andy Ruiz. But he does have the power to be able to knock out an Usyk. So let's see how he does against a mover now. You know what I mean? He hasn't had that many opponents that move around the ring. So this is something new that to us to be able to see AJ go up against. But as for now, I'll say it's like a 55-45 on AJ. I give him the puncher's chance just for now, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on that. You're saying 55-45. It's a really hard fight to call, a really hard fight to be definitive on your prediction. A lot of people think it's 50-50 because the styles are going to give each other they're going to give each other problems. It's going to be a complementary problem affair, right, Drew? I mean, we can say that these styles they're not made for each other. Joshua does have the edge and power. If he can catch Usyk, if he can, man. And remind me tomorrow, your boy Chicano was telling me you guys are going to be doing something special tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Yeah, 11 a.m. catches. Where we're scoring Tito Trinidad versus De La Hoya, giving you our scorecards that we came up with the fight. You guys want to catch that or let us know how you guys had the fight.
Oh.
And
that's a great fight.
Talking the current state of boxing, brother.
Yeah, no, I thought, I had mistaken myself because I thought Chicano was telling me you were going to be doing the fight, the recent one with Valdez. But De La Hoya versus Trinidad, I've seen that fight so many times. And that is a classic case where he made a very, very bad mistake in the 12th final round, 11-2, taking his foot off the gas, listening to his corner, bad advice from the corner. I still don't know historically who gave him the advice that he had secured this win and to take those rounds off, because had he not, he would have gotten the decision, man. And that fight was a super fight a super fight between a Mexican American and a Puerto Rican, one that cemented in the legacy of Mexican and Puerto Rican fans. And I always wondered what would have happened had Oscar De La Hoya kept the same pressure in those final two rounds. It reminds a lot of young fighters, you fight to the very end. And the same thing goes in football, man. And I'm enjoying football so far this year because I'm seeing some teams fight to the very end, even if they know it's a foregone conclusion. You know what I'm saying? I want to see fighters fight to the very end. Man, thanks a lot. Hey, Al Chile. Sorry, A-Rod, I was going to ask you real quick about Mikey Garcia fighting in Fresno. It's a bold move, but it's a good fight for him in a good area because there's a lot of support for his comeback. But again, there's been a lot of inactivity. This fight is at 145 pounds. And today I heard that Mikey Garcia says he does want to fight Regis Prograis, but that Eddie Hearn told him there's simply not enough money to make that fight happen right now. Man, is that effed up, guys? Drew, not enough money to stage Regis Prograis versus Mikey Garcia?
Mustafa is offer cards at your house, dude, and you have the money. Those fights that he's been had on there suck.
The opponent, Sandor, man, I mean, it's a good tune-up because he's going to have ring rust, right? But at the same time, I don't like what I'm hearing from Eddie Hearn saying he doesn't have enough money to stage a super fight between him and Regis Prograis. What do you mean you don't have enough money? I mean, is that why Canelo's fighting on Showtime pay-per-view in November? Just saying, right?
Yes, sir. I think he already spent his money on the AJ. You know what I mean? All these other little events that he's been having. So, you know what I mean? Now Mikey Garcia, Regis Progress is a great fight. It's a good step of fight. Says it's lost with Earl Spence. Regis is not a pushover. I mean, I wanted to see that fight personally. I was pushing for that fight. I don't know if Regis Progress did an interview with one of the people in the LDBC, and we're getting to ask him some questions. And it was a pretty good interview, brother. And he was really looking forward to that fight. It looked like it was close to being in the making, but then they fell through. They said that Mikey either couldn't make weight or whatever excuse they made. Now Eddie Hearn said he just didn't have enough money. This sucks, man.
There's definitely an issue with Mikey's weight. Again, it's a catch weight, and it's in October the 16th. It's like he doesn't want to push his body back to 140 unless there's some serious money to be made. He doesn't want to go that far. But I don't like what I heard from Eddie Hearn's statement, because I also read an article from the CEO of DAZN, like the European division, and they stated that they're really not that serious about the U.S. market and that they're going to be downsizing their budget for DAZN USA. So this is going to put Mikey in a weird position where he just signed with Matchroom Boxing, I guess. It's like, look, you got to make these super fights for him, especially if he shows up that he can take 2 years off, a year off, and come back and still put on dominant performances. I want to see him fight Regis Prograis, and then I want to see the winner of that fight Joshua Taylor. I would love to see that. Drew, your thoughts on either Regis Prograis getting a second crack at Joshua Taylor, or if Mikey Garcia beats him at Joshua Taylor, that'd be a mega fight.
I like to see the Taylor rematch, but here's the thing right now. When I was hearing about this on Twitter, or like with DAZN and everything, like I really think DAZN's heading into a bad direction when it comes to boxing, and the subscribers are going to get really hurt by it. I think DAZN's going to lose a lot of subscribers in the U.S. If they're going to downsize and they're going to take the budget away from the U.S. side of it, because to be honest, nobody in the United States, some people in the UK are not going to be into these cards that Eddie Hearn is throwing in his backyard, because those cards are terrible. I tell you the truth, I fell asleep during a card. Now I'm going to say, I'm laying in my bed watching the fight on DAZN on a Saturday afternoon, even when I know I don't have to go into work that night because I called out that night, and then accidentally falling asleep during that card because how boring it is.
Ouch! Well, listen, if you're worried about that, you'll be surprised. The only person of name that I recognize for Saturday's Usyk Joshua fight is the son of Ricky Hatton, who, I mean, I do like watching Ricky Hatton's son. It's kind of a throwback, and I'm hoping he has a good career. I was a fan of Ricky Hatton, but that's the only name I could recognize on that DAZN card. I wanted to mention this to guys, something that I've got information on today that didn't really make too much noise in boxing, and it should, but Richard Schaefer, who took Golden Boy Boxing to the best success it ever had, announced that he has a new company that's got executives from all kinds of other companies, and they're going to be launching their own international streaming platform for boxing as well. So that we could very well see a huge new competitor in the boxing streaming services really soon. And remember, Richard Schaefer is someone who took Golden Boy and made the best out of it. And Golden Boy has only suffered after Richard Schaefer left. So we could be seeing somebody else making a dent in our boxing community. A-Rod, you still there? I think A-Rod disconnected. But A-Rod, don't forget to catch the show Al Chile tomorrow on YouTube. Al Chile at 11 a.m. Thank you for calling in, bro. We got one more call, Drew, if you want to take this call. And then we'll wrap up the show, the Shoe Shine. All right. 213, you're on the Shoe Shine. What's up?
Hello. I got to start
Hang up.
The Eagles.
I want to know how my friend Johnny even has a clue on how to come up with phony numbers like that, because he seems to live in every area code imaginable. All right, guys, thanks for tuning into a Monday night edition of the Shoe Shine. I'm already going hoarse. Drew, we're on the same page for this fight. We both seem to think Usyk is going to pull off the upset. A-Rod, no problem. A-Rod, thanks a lot for coming on our show with that phone call, man. So for once, Drew, you and I are on the same page in the salute. We haven't seen the official LDBC rep in here in ages. Salute to the official LDBC rep. Oh yeah, he's here for his apology from Drew. I don't know if you're gonna get it, especially as the show is ending. You might have to tune in next week. Now, Drew, Chicano Prophet was willing to make a pie bet. If we had engaged in that, we could both be wrong next week and could be eating a pie to the face, but we didn't accept that. Are we that secure? I'm like borderline. I could be regretting my choice on Usyk. And would I be a bad person if on Thursday night I go on someone else's show and change my mind?
Yeah, because you'd be changing your mind when you're supposed to agree with me.
No, I agreed on Monday. But man, this fight is so 50-50. If this fight is so 50-50, that I might change my mind on Thursday. And that wouldn't be a good look for the shoe shine. I got to stick with my guns that Usyk is going to pull off an upset. But I haven't been good calling these upsets all year. And that's for sure. So we covered a lot of stuff today. Drew, your thoughts on all the shenanigans in boxing? I know that we covered the celebrity boxing thing, the Trilla drama. But is the rest of the year going to be a good year for boxing, man? October, November, some really big fights up ahead.
LDBC, I appreciate it, but Drew don't need no protection from nobody. Drew's a beast. And my official apology to you is officially calm the fuck down. But at number 2, Dave agrees with me because he knows he's a smart motherfucker. He should bet. He should.
Well, I could be wrong next Monday.
See, you're doubting yourself, Dave. Don't let these people, peer pressure you. That's what kids do to people. They peer pressure people. And
I wouldn't be agreeing with you. I would not be agreeing with you if it wasn't for the fact that Andy Ruiz pulled off an epic upset already. When it's already been in the cards, man. It's not like I haven't seen this happen already.
There's another reason too, because you heard what I said. You heard every reason I had. You hear everything on my research, and you agree with my research, Dave. That's why you agree with me.
Oh man. Well, it could be the fact that I like the way Usyk dances, man. I mean, he's got his own style, man. There's something going on there, man. It's like he learned how to dance hip hop in the Bay Area or something. Look at that. That's that West Coast Oakland style hyphy dance. It's important. Muhammad Ali had the best footwork, right?
Yeah, he had the best footwork.
Thanks, man.
But I'll be honest with you. Yo, official, why did you get kicked out of HCP anyway, man? I'm anxious to find this out now.
Well, hit him up. You could add Drew Evo on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram.
He might hit my phone up he might be hitting my freaking DM up like crazy.
That is funny. Joe Lopez says Drew's giving Dave father to son advice, and I'm actually older than Drew, so that is hilarious. Oh man, this has been the Shoe Shine. We're gonna find out next Monday night if both of us are wrong, and that's a first. Of course, Usyk versus Joshua, a really important matchup for the heavyweight division. We could be seeing it. The next Klitschko. Will he be the greatest Ukrainian fighter ever? Undisputed cruiserweight, and now preparing to be undisputed heavyweight? I don't think we've ever seen that. I mean, we haven't seen it since Evander Holyfield. We'll see how it plays out next Monday. Don't forget to check out our homies who were here. A-Rod 833 Boxeo on Al Chile with Chicano Prophet, Run PMC. They do a great show. I think Thursday night will probably be on the round table. If not both of us, one of us, I think. And we'll catch you guys there. Keep it boxing. Enjoy Saturday's show. Final words, Drew.
Well, if Usyk pulls this win off, these people are going to praise me like crazy. And I just got to say, we're even We'll even go as far as play Ukraine national anthem.
Oh
if
no,
Usyk
that
wins.
you tripping now. You're tripping
happened?
now.
What happened?
You might have to put the Ukrainian flag behind you. Oh man, you were
You know
tripping.
what? I'll
The
probably
flag.
do it too. If Usyk wins, I'll put the Ukrainian flag as my background.
You know what? Let's save flag stuff for like when Mick Conlon gets his next big win. Let's save it for that.
I gotta confirm this. Drew is not gonna be on the round table because I am not off from work that night.
All right. Well,
Unfortunately, like it's unfortunate, but I'm not off on Thursday night, guys. I am not gonna be at the round table, but Dave from the 408 is, and I'll be there in spirit, somewhat.
all right, guys. Thanks a lot for showing up. We'll figure out the scheduling later. The Shoe Shy on Monday nights. Tell your friends about it. Help us hit that 100 subscriber mark so we can get some merchandise going. Of course, tell a friend, share it on your social media. Hit us with a like, dislike, or comment down below. No shit. We'll leave it at that. All right, we'll see you next week, guys. Take care, everybody.